Today we are towards the third day for FTP program on robotics process automation. So, today's session will discuss uh, about some of the recording options that are available in UiPath. Just let me share my screen, and after sharing, you just tell me whether it is visible to all of you or not. I'm just going to share my screen. Is it visible? So,
Cool, sir.
so the today's topic for the discussion will be like in the first day third session we have discussed in detail about the variable and argument. So we have yesterday's session we have already see some of the examples for the variable, but today we'll start with the argument examples, and after that we'll see what is recording, then what is task recorder, and we'll see some of the recording options that are basically available in the UiPath. So basically, this is the agenda for the today's session, and we'll start discussing one by one, and we'll start with the argument first. So as I've already discussed with all of you, that argument is like used to pass the data from one workflow to another. Unlike variable, where we used to pass the data only within a single workflow and within different activities. Okay? So this variable is argument is used to pass the data from one workflow file to another. Whether this variable is used to pass the data within the same workflow. Okay. So this is the kind of main difference, and we have already seen the some what is the difference. And this argument has one specific property, that is basically the direction property, and based on that we can pass the data only within the same workflow file or outside the workflow file. So basically the argument has basically three directions: in, out, and in, out. Okay. So we'll see one example how we can pass the data from one workflow to another. Just I'm going to discuss about this argument example, then we'll start with the recording. So just wait, just let me open the UiPath Studio so that I can demonstrate the example of argument, how it can pass the data from one workflow to another. So now this UiPath Studio has been console has been opened. We can see here this is the like variable panel. This second one is the argument panel. So, so just let me open the argument panel. So you can see here we have four fields: name, direction, argument type, and default value. So we have already discussed in detail about this four field of the argument. But just again to just like revise the same thing. But for the variable we are having four field, but there is no direction field. So this is the advantage, and or we can say by this direction properties of the argument, we can pass the data from one workflow to another. So we'll see one example and we'll try to pass the data from one workflow to another. So I'm just going to create a workflow that is of basically sequence type. You can see here, this is our sequence. So in this particular example, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to demonstrate the passing of data. What I will do, I will basically create two arguments, and one argument will be having the direction with in, and second argument will have the direction of out, and then we'll create another workflow. We'll create another workflow with another name, and then we'll try to pass the data from this first sequence workflow to the second sequence workflow, and then we'll see how the data is going to pass from this sequence workflow to the another sequence workflow. Okay. So what happens in case of the argument which is having the direction in, the data is not going to pass from the one workflow to another, because the as its name is suggesting that this argument whose direction is having only in is used to pass the data only within a single workflow in which that particular argument has been created. Okay, but the argument whose direction is out, that is going to pass the data from one workflow to another. Okay, so we'll see this. So this is our sequence file to create two different arguments with the direction in and out. I'm just going to drop two different assign activity. We've already discussed in detail about assign activity. So, and also in the yesterday, madam has also explained this assign activity, what we can perform using this assign activity. So you can I have already explained two different examples on this assign activity of using this number variable, or you can say the integer variable. So I'm just going to create two different arguments with two different names. So suppose that in the first assign activity, I'm just going to create with the argument underscore in. Since I'm just going to give the direction to the first argument as the in, therefore to recognize this argument, I'm just going to name as the argument underscore in, and then I'm going to here enter the text inside a double quote. So what can I write here? I'm going to write here the text as the example of in argument. Example of in argument. Okay. So after this, we have to create the argument by going into the argument panel. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to open this argument panel. So you can see here, this is our argument panel. Now I have to create the argument for this first assign activity. So I'm just going to create here argument. We've already seen how we can create the argument in any argument panel. So this is I'm going to do. So arg underscore in. Now the direction is in. Okay, I want the direction for this particular argument is in. The type is string, because I've entered the value here in the text form. Therefore, it should be the string type. So next, let's close this argument panel. Then we'll go to the second assign activity. What we'll do here, we'll again create a second argument with the name. You can say this argument out, and again we'll enter the text example of out argument. Okay, so this is our example of out argument. So again we'll do the same thing. We'll create the argument for the second activity in the argument panel. So just going to open this argument panel here, arg underscore and the direction I'm just going to change to the out. You can see here we are getting like four different direction option: in, out, and the property. This property is now obsolete. Only these three direction is basically used. So I'm just going to give the direction as the out. Okay. Suppose that if you select this in out, then this particular argument is going to pass the data inside your workflow file, and outside the workflow file. But just I'm going to demonstrate this out direction. So this is done, and the entered value is in the form of text. Therefore, the type will be remain string. So that is good. So now I have to connect the message box activity. So this is our message box, and here we'll enter the text that we want to display after debugging this particular sequence workflow file. So I'm just going to enter this argument in. I'm just going to like display the both value that I have provided inside the assign activity, that is example of in argument and then example of out argument. Okay. So that value I'm going to display with the comma separated. So you can see here I have provided the comma inside the double quotes, and this double quotes is just to provide the space between two different tags. Okay, that I have already explained while explaining the sequence. So this is concatenation. So this is second argument out. So this is done. So now what we'll do, we'll just run this and we'll see how this is going to work. So you can see here, our message has been displayed successfully. This is example of in argument, and this is, you can see here, this is comma, and then example of out argument. Okay. So this is about our first workflow file. Okay. Now we'll create another workflow. Okay, and then we'll try to pass this values like that we have provided in the for the argument in and argument out from this workflow to another workflow. So I'm just going to create a sequence and create this as the another workflow, just created. So you can see here, this is our another workflow. Okay. So now what we will do, actually I want to transfer the value that I have passed in the first workflow file to the second is another workflow file. For that, to passing the value, we have to first use the invoke workflow file activity. Okay. So we have to invoke the argument from the first workflow file to the second workflow file, and for this particular action, or you can say for this particular function, we have the invoke workflow file in our activity panel. So we'll search on the activity panel invoke workflow file. So you can see here, this is our invoke workflow file. So this is the like the function of this invoke workflow file is to pass the argument from the first workflow file to the second workflow file. Okay, so I'm just going to pass this using this. So you can see here, once you drag the invoke workflow file from the activity panel to your second sequence file that I have renamed as the another workflow file. So you can see here, after this dragging, we are getting some options like workflow path. So we have to provide the path for the previously created workflow in which we have created the arguments. Okay. So this is basically in this, we have to provide the path for the previously created or the workflow file from which we want to pass the data using the argument. Okay. So I think this is clear to all. In this, we have to basically provide the path for the previously created sequence file in which we have created two different arguments. For that, we are getting here the browse file option. I'm just going to open this. You can see here, this is our file. This is main XML file. We have already discussed about this, the type of file. So I'm just going to, you can see here, and you can see here automatically I have provided the path for this main XML file, and we are able to invoke the workflow argument from the first workflow file to the second. You can see here, these are the arguments which I have created in the first workflow file with the name argument underscore in. You can see this is the direction in, and this is argument out. Okay, so you can see here, this is like our 60 or you can say 80% of work has been done. because we are successfully like able to import the argument from the first workflow file to the second workflow file. So now this is our 80% task has been completed. Now our 20% task is like we have to, by using this argument of the first workflow file, we will create this argument in the second workflow file as the variable, and using this variable, we'll try to display a message. Okay, and then we'll like see the output, and we'll try to get the conclusion how the argument basically works. Okay, so you can see here, this is after import. The next step is we have to create this argument in and argument out for the second workflow as the variable, and we can do here in the default value option. I'm just going to create this as the variable for the second, where arg underscore in. Just a second. Similarly, I'm going to do this for the where arg underscore out. So you can see here variable underscore argument in, and then variable underscore argument out. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll create a now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a message box here. And now I'm going to display the message I want to display using this message box. So again, using this concatenation, because this argument of the first workflow file I'm using in the second workflow file as the variable. So you can see here, I have created this variable here, and the default value of this variable is going to be taken from the argument value. So this is done. Now so now we'll now I'm just going to debug this file, and then we'll see how it is going to work. You can see here, this is the output of the first workflow file, example of in, comma, example of out argument. Now, once I will press the OK, then the second, or you can say the another workflow file is going to be executed. So you can see this, we are only getting the output as the example of out argument. Okay, so I think this is clear to all of you. Here we are not getting the message, or you can say the message corresponding to the argument whose direction is in. We are getting the message only corresponding to the argument whose direction is out. That means only the argument whose direction is out is able to pass the data from first workflow to another workflow. So I think this is very much clear to all of you. So this is little tricky, but if you understand the concept of this argument and how does it work, so we can easily work on the arguments. Okay, so you can see here, this is how the argument basically works. In this, after debugging this file, we are only getting the output in the second workflow file corresponding to the argument whose direction is out. Okay, so but we are not getting the output for the argument whose direction is in. Okay, so you can see here, we are only getting the value of like example of out argument. We are not getting as example of in argument. So this is all about how the data can be passed from one workflow file to another. Okay, so This is all about the argument. Okay, so what we can do, we can if you want to see the example of in how the in and out direction argument works. So what we can do, we can change the, we can go here to the first workflow file. So this is our first workflow file. So just let me rename this. So that would be like better to all of you to like understand in some better way. So I'm just going to rename as the first workflow. Okay, so this is our first workflow. So now what I will do, instead of this first argument that is basically having the direction in, what I'm going to do, instead of this in direction, I'm going to change this type of this argument as the in and out. That means it will pass the data inside the first argument as well as the outside of the first workflow to another workflow. So what I'm going to do, everything will remain. So you can see this. This is the first argument with respect to the first assigned activity. So I'm going to change the direction from in to out. Okay. No, in and out, you can see here. This is the direction. That means it will pass the data within the same first workflow file, and as well as it will also pass the data from the first workflow file to the another workflow file. Okay, so this is done. Now, just I'm going to debug. Okay, so you can see here, after changing this, let me again debug this so that we can easily understand, we can easily get the clear understanding of the argument, how does it work. So we can see, okay, so you can see here, we are getting the example of in argument, comma example of out argument in both the cases. Okay, so you can see here. So this is about the argument. That means how argument basically work. Okay, so it is used to pass the data from one workflow to another workflow. So this is all about workflow, and this is all about the argument and how it is used to pass the data from one workflow to another. Okay, so this is like main difference between the variable and argument, whether the variable is used to pass the data within the single workflow file. Okay, so but the argument is used to pass the data from two different workflow files. So you can see these are our two different workflow files. This is our first, and this is the second workflow file. Similarly, we can create a number of workflow file, and depending upon our requirement, by using this invoke workflow file activity, we can invoke the that particular workflow file from which we want to import the argument by passing the path. Okay, so we are having this browse for file option, and by using this browse option, we can just give the path of that particular workflow file from which we want to import the argument. Okay, so once we provide the path, and then by using this import argument option, okay, we can import the argument. So we can import the argument, and then we can adding of message box, we can display the message as per our requirement. So this is all about this argument. So now we'll start again. So now the argument has been like completed. So the next topic is the recording. So we'll see the what is basically recording, and we'll see some of the recording options that are basically available in the UI path for the any automation. So what is recording in UiPath? Okay, so before going to like discuss about the various type of recording that are available in the UiPath, we will first discuss this. What is basically recording in UiPath? Okay, so while automating, as we all know that in the robotics process automation, we basically automate any business process that are basically like repetitive in nature, and basically using this RPA, what we do, it basically we have some bots that are two different type. One is known as attended and second is unattended. So that bots are basically used to mimic the human actions. Okay, there is no intelligence involved. Okay, unlike this artificial intelligence, there the machines are basically like intelligent, but in this bots are basically mimic the human action. Whatever you like, give the program, or whatever you like, make your automation project accordingly. Your bot is going to perform that particular human action. Okay? So in some time, what happens? Some process, some business development process are like a very repetitive in nature. So in the UI path, we have the options of recording. Okay, so we can record the particular repetitive nature options or like work. Then we can use that method recorded project in some big automation project. Okay, so basically, we'll see how we can record any uh, human like any repetitive nature action by using the recording options in UiPath. So before discuss basically what is recording. So the recording is one such feature in UiPath which basically enable to capture user sections okay on the screen and then eventually convert them into sequences. So this is the here we have to keep some like attention here that it is basically going to capture the human actions on the screen like whatever we are going to perform using our mouse like right click double click okay so we'll see what are the kind of user section that can be recorded by using this recording option in UiPath and after recording all the user section all the your action is basically going to convert it into sequence okay so after recording your workflow file is going to be as the sequence file so this is the like main and importance point to be like keep in mind that after recording all the actions on the screen your file is eventually going to be converted as the sequence file okay so the recorded project can then be modified as per the user's need and can be used to replay reuse them as many times as the user wants during recording any hello 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 Nilesh please mute your audio Nilesh hello mute your audio hello 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 Nilesh please mute your audio Nilesh audio so by using this recording options, we basically record all the user sections on the screen and then eventually convert them into sequences. And later on, as per our requirement, we can modify them and we can replay and reuse them as many times as we required for our automation project. So during recording, any actions, all the user interface elements are highlighted to ensure that we choose the correct fields. So now to record actions in UiPath, we have to use the recording option in UiPath. So we'll see what are the options that are available in the what are the options that are available in the UiPath for the recording.
So there is a disturbance in the voice. Can you mute or remove Nilesh sir from source host end?
Sometimes Nilesh, please mute your audio. Deep. So So, okay, so sorry for the interruption. Okay, so I think he was not able to. So we were discussing about the what is recording in UiPath. So by using the recording option UiPath, what we basically do, we can capture the user actions on the screen and then eventually convert them into the sequence. And later on, we can use those recorded options and you can use them as many times as we required. Okay, so for recording, we have basically some of the options. UiPath basically provides some of the option for the recording. So we'll search, we'll see those options and we'll try to understand one by one. Okay. So, so basically, that is no the recording option in UiPath is basically known as the task recorder. And what it does basically create a basic framework for automation, and the user actions on the screen are recorded by the recorder and turned into a recording sequence in the current project. So the main point which we have to keep in mind that whatever the user action we are going to capture using this task recorder, that are basically is going to convert into the sequence workflow file. Okay. So as we all know that sequence is as we can use that this is the simplest, or you can say this single block of activity, and we can use this sequence workflow file as a standalone activity or a standalone automation project. So it's a we have whatever user action we can capture using this task recorder, we can itself use those as a standalone automation project, or you can use those sequence automation recorded project in any large automation project wherever we require that particular thing. Okay, so that's how robots are able to mimic human action by like capturing the user actions, and the steps can be recorded one by one manually and automatically by pointing it on the screen, or many steps in a go that it is automatically. So basically in the UiPath we have four different type of recording options that are basically basic recording, desktop recording, web recording, and Citrix recording. So we'll see where this recording option are basically located in the UiPath Studio. So basically this this recording options are available in the ribbon of your UiPath Studio. So I'm just going to show from where we can get this recording option. So we can see here, this is our so you can see here, this is our the ribbon portion of UiPath. So this upper portion is basically known as the ribbon portion, and you can see here this is the recording option. Okay, I think where the my cursor is located right now. So this is the recording. Once we click on this, we'll get the this many number of options like basic, desktop, web, image, and Citrix recording. So today I will cover only this basic desktop and web recording. Here the Citrix recording will be covered in some another session. So that is another another recording, and we'll this Citrix recording will be covered by some other uh, person in some other session. But today I will cover this three recording. So this is where this recording option is located, and you can see here the types of different recording options. And the recorder of the UiPath basically enables user to record UI mouse movement. So now I'm going to discuss what are the user actions that can be basically recorded using this task recorded in the UiPath. Basically, it is not possible to record all the user actions using this task recorder in the UiPath. We can only have some certain limitation, and that can be captured, or that you can say that can be recorded using this various recording option in the UiPath Studio. So that I'm going to discuss about the type of the user action that can be recorded using the various recorder available in the UiPath. So you can just listen here. So basically this UiPath recorder enables users to record mouse movement. Okay, that mouse movement doesn't mean that hovering of mouse from one place to other. Okay, if you are hovering your mouse from one place to other, that is not going to be recorded. Mouse movement, that means your movement of your cursor, or you can see the right click and your left click is going to be captured. Okay, so the right click and left click of your mouse is going to be captured, but if you are just hovering your mouse from one place to another, like moving your mouse from one to other place, that is basically not going to be captured, or that is not going to be recorded in the UiPath for any automation project. Okay. So second, apart from this left and right click of the mouse, what else can be recorded? The keyboard activity to generate any automation script, that can also be recorded and can be turned into the sequence workflow file. So we'll see these options. Now we'll in this next slide. I'm trying to display some of the recorded and non-recordable actions. So you can see here, this is the first. This is the table that is basically I have kept listed some of the automatically recordable action and some non-recordable actions. So you can see here under this recordable actions, what we can record using this recording option. The first one is the left click on the buttons of the mouse. Okay, that means if you are left clicking on the mouse button, then that can be going to be captured. Okay. Similarly, non-recordable actions, the keyboard shortcuts is not going to be recorded. Similarly, this under automatical recordable actions, uh, if you are left click on check boxes, that is going to be recorded, and then a right click on GUI elements is not going to be recorded. Again, this drop down list is going to be recorded, and mouse hovering, as I have already discussed, this is going to be recorded, and whatever you type, any text typing, that is basically going to be recorded. So we'll try to uh, see one example in which I will try some text on the notepad, and will by using the basic recording and using this text typing and then left clicking, will try to showcase how basically this basic recording works and how we are going to convert that all those manual action into any automation project using this recording option. Okay, so we'll discuss the basic recording. Okay, then we can easily understand. So this what is basic recording? This is one of the recording options that are basically available in the UiPath. Okay, so this is used to record activities on the desktop. Okay, so it has some certain limitations. We'll see those limitations as well. So this type of recorder is used for the single activities and simple workflow. So this is, as its name suggests, this is a very basic recorder, and we have some certain limitations, like we cannot go for any complex activity and complex workflow file. By using this basic recording, we can record and automate any project that are basically simple in nature, or you can say that can contain only single activity. Okay, so we cannot record more than one activity in the basic recorder, and the action here are self-contained and not contained in separate windows. So basically, due to this basic recording is very slow as compared to the desktop and the web recording, since it are self-contained and it has no windows, or you can say the selector. So this particular third point will understand in a more clear way when the selector topic will be discussed. So the basic recording is suitable for single activity, and it basically generates a full selector for the each activity. Okay, again, this after the selector portion, this portion will be more and easily understandable. Okay, what is the full selector for each activity, and it does not generate container, since the automation is slower in comparison to the other type that generates container. Okay. So these are some uh, information about the basic recording. The main point what we can get from here is that it is used for the single activity, and it is for the simple workflow. Okay, as compared to the other, and it is as compared to the other recording option is available in the UiPath. This is very slow, and this is used for the single activity. So we'll see one example in which I'm just going to enter some text in Notepad. You can see here I have just write down the example here. So in this basic recording, we'll enter some text in Notepad, and then we'll change font and font size of that particular enter text, and we'll try to capture everything using this basic recording. Okay, and then we'll see how this is going to be automate this entering the text, and then it will change the font and font size. Okay? So let me open the notepad first. Suppose that I'm just going to hi all. This is demonstration for demonstration for basic recording. Okay, so you can see here I have just write here some text on the notepad. Hi all, this is demonstration for basic recording. So I have entered this text manually. Okay, I'm just going to change the font. What I will do, I will just do all the things manually, and then same thing I will do using the basic recording. I will see those all manual action, or you can say the user action will be captured using this basic recording, and automatically will be converted into the sequence workflow file. When we'll debug that particular file, then we can see that it will write the text automatically, and then it will change the font and font size. Okay, whatever we'll do manually, everything will be done automatically by using this basic recording option. Okay, so I'm just doing first the manually, then we'll do the same thing using this basic recording. So I'm going to change this font size first. So you can see here this the particular text is the Cambria. Suppose that I'm going to just change to the Cambria map. Right now this is the font style in the oblique. So we can convert into this regular, and the size is 36. You can change it to the 26. Okay. So you can see here. So now you can see the change. I have converted the like font style, font size, and everything. Okay. So this is like manual option, and the same thing now I'm going to do with this basic recording, and we'll see that everything will be basically going to be captured all the user actions whatever I have done here. You can see here for changing the format. I have just clicked here on the format, then I went to the font, okay, and then from font I have changed the font, then font style and size. So whatever actions I have basically performed using this left and right click of the mouse for this particular changing the font style, size and font of this text entered, that everything is going to be captured and eventually converted into the automation sequence workflow file. So just let me remove this, and then we'll do this using the basic recording. I will try to understand how basically it is working. So this is our main panel, our design panel. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to open this recording. Okay, so after recording, since I'm explaining this basic recording, so I will just click on this basic recording. Once we'll click on this basic recording, we'll get this option like record, this click and all the options. Now I will open this, and then I will so I'm just going to enter the text. Hi all. This is demonstration for basic recording. Okay. So I will click on this empty field so that once the text will be entered, everything will be clear. This hi all. This is demonstration for basic recording. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the this is presently in this I'm going to change the font from Cambria Math to you can take any font. I'm just going to change to the Canberra, and then font style regular to bold italic. Okay, and then size 22. Okay, so these are the some changes which I have done using the left click of the mouse. Okay, now I'm going to just press OK, and then to save and exit, we have to press escape from the keyboard 2 times. So this is one. Now, so we'll get this option. Do you want to keep the recorded output? I'm just going to say yes. So you can see automatically all those actions has been captured using this basic recording option. Are you participant able to see this? Everything what I have done using this manually on this notepad, formatting that text and then changing, has been
Yes.
eventually converted into the sequence. And this is a sequence workflow file. Okay, so you can see this is our basic. Okay, this is basic. Type of this file is sequence and name is basic. Okay. So you can see this is again the symbol of the sequence file. And the first is we have a type into editable text. You can see hi all. This is demonstration for basic recording. And then what I have done after that, we have click on this format. You can see this is the second activity. And then this is third. Okay, so first let me debug this. Okay, and then we'll try to understand all this one by one. So I'm just going to debug, and then we'll see whatever we have done manually, everything will be going to be done automatically by using this particular basic recording option. So you can see here, this is automatically changing. I'm not doing anything. So this is about the basic recording. So whatever you have seen on the screen, actually I'm not right. Everything has been basically written automatically by this basic recording option. And after that, you have seen that it automatically changes the font and font style and size. Okay, so this is about the basic recording. And by clicking on any of the activity, we can change the property and we can also modify them as per our requirement. Okay, so suppose that if you click on the this particular type into editable text activity, so you can corresponding this properties panel will be open on the right side. Okay, so you will get so like continue so many options like common input. Okay, text. So if you want to change the text, suppose that even after the like automation of using this basic recording for some other automation project, if you want to change that enter text, so you can change the text from here. Are you able to see? Are you all open able to see this? Okay, on this properties panel, we can change this text. So this is what I was talking about while discussing this basic recording option. Okay, so by this way, we can change even we can change and modify the recorded option. So this is you can see the beauty of this recording options that are available in the UiPath. Even after the recording, we can modify some of the available option as per our requirement, and we can later on use them in some other automation project. Okay, so this is some of the option. Okay, so like empty field is true. Okay, that means whatever text is going to be right on the notepad. So if you click on this empty field, that is going to be start from the scratch. Okay, so this is all about the basic recording. And one more thing, what we can do here, since we have not provided any delay, so you can see these are the like arrow mark between two different activities. So yesterday, madam has already discussed the how we can provide the delay between two different activities. Okay, so we can also provide the as per our requirement. If you want to provide delay, suppose that if you want that this third activity to be like executed after some certain amount of time, so we can provide here delay. So we have to just click here, and then once we'll write here delay. Okay, so we'll get the delay. Okay, so here you can get this delay, and once you click on this, we can go there. We can go in this duration option of the properties panel, and you can provide the delay, and the format of that is we can provide the format as the hour, minute, and second. So this is about how we can provide the delay. Okay. So you can do this and you can check this. Okay. So can we record audio? No, we cannot record. This actually while discussing the definition and the concept itself in the starting of this recording, I have discussed there. We can record only the user actions. Okay, we cannot like this audio, whatever we speak on the mic, that is basically not user action. We can record only the action that we are basically perform using our keyboard and the mouse. So we can record only this user action that are basically performed using mouse. Okay. So basically, this is used to perform mimic the human action that are basically performed using this keyboards and mouse. Okay. So I think this is clear. So and similarly, we can suppose that in the while recording this particular option using this basic recording, I have uh, I have selected the font size as the 22 from 26 to 22. But if later on if you want to change the size, then we can go here in the display name and then we can change the size here. Okay. So we can do even after the recording, even we can modify the complete recording option as per our requirement for the later usage, and we can use this particular recording as many times as we want. Okay. So this is you can consider as the advantage as the beauty of this particular recording options. So now we'll see the next recordings. So this is all about the basic recording in which we have recorded only the single activity, and all the single activity eventually converted into the sequence file. So now we'll see the desktop recording and we'll try to understand what is desktop recording, and we'll try to understand the difference between the basic and the desktop recording. So the desktop recording, like the basic recording used to record the activity on the desktop, that is very much similar. It is used to record and automate multiple action and complex workflow. So unlike the basic recording, where the basic recording is used for only the simple workflow and for the single activity, by using the desktop recording, we can automate multiple actions and complex workflow. So we'll try to automate two activity. So we'll see this with an example. As the name suggests, it is suitable for all type of desktop apps and multiple actions. It generates container and hence it is faster than basic recording. So these are some of the difference what we can get from here. That the two major difference between the basic and the desktop recording is that the basic recording is used for the single activity, where this desktop recording is used for the multiple activity. And the second is the basic recording is used for the simple type of workflow. This is used for the complex type of workflow. Okay. And the third difference is that the basic recording does not generate containers, and this desktop recorder generates container. Therefore, it is faster as compared to the basic recording. Okay. And in this particular desktop recording, I will try to demonstrate one example in which we'll try to automate two different activity. One activity will be like I will type some text on the notepad, and another activity I will use calculator. I will like do some mathematical operations, and both this activity like the typing the text on the notepad as well as the calculation, some mathematical operation in the calculator, will try to automate both the activity. Okay. So we'll see this. How does it work? So to perform the mathematical operation, let me open the calculator. So this is our calculator. Okay. Going to minimize this. So now what I'm going to show you all. So I'm going to show I'm going to perform two activity manually. One is like calculation of some mathematical operation on the calculator, and second is the same as the typing the some text on the notepad and changing some font style and size. Okay. And then we'll do all the same thing using this desktop recording, and we'll automate those actions, okay, user actions. First, you can say everything I'm just going to perform manually, and then later on I will do the same thing using the desktop recording. So suppose that I'm just going to multiply two different number like 4 into 5 just for the like. Okay, so you can get this is the manual what I'm doing. Actually, I'm just for multiplication of two number 4 into 5. You will get this result as a 25. Sorry, 20, and then again I'm just going to enter the text as the patient. recording. Okay, so this is like manually. I have typed this text. Now I'm going to click on this format, then font, then enter this Cambria regular, and 24. So you can see the font, everything has been changed. So this two like the writing on the text and this calculation of the multiplication of two number basically I have done manually. Now same thing, I'm just going to perform using the desktop recording, and we'll see that all those user action that are basically required using manually going to be captured using this, and eventually will convert into the sequence workflow file. Okay. So just remove this and then now I'm going to do the same thing using the desktop recording. Therefore, I will click on first on the recording, then the desktop. Okay. First type that. Now after entering the text, I'm just going to, currently this particular text is in the Cambria format. Okay. So suppose that if I want to change to the Cambria map, okay, so I have changed this font from Cambria to Cambria map. Okay, then this is currently in the regular, thus I'm going to convert into the bold oblique, and this currently this text is the 24 size. I am going to convert the size from 24 to 28. Then this is okay. So now this writing the text has been done. Now what I will do, I will open this calculator, and then I will do some mathematical operations like 7 plus 5. So we have done two activity here. One is the writing some text on the notepad, and second activity is the calculation using this calculator. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to save this file and going to convert everything, all the user actions for this writing the text and calculation using this desktop recording, and everything eventually will be converted into sequence file. Okay, so escape one time, it will stop this recording, and then again escape, it will save the file. Okay, so do you want to keep the recorded? Yes, you can see here. So this is, you can see here everything, whatever user actions are required for this writing text and then calculation, everything has been captured using this desktop recording options in the UI path and has been turned into a sequence file. Okay, so this is our, just let me show from the starting. So this is our desktop. You can say this is the type of this file is sequence file, and the name of this file is desktop file. If you want to change the name of this file, then we can change. Okay, but this desktop itself is like we can differentiate easily. Therefore, you don't need to change the name. And then after that, what we have like done first, we have entered the text first. Therefore, you can see the first activity is the attached window. Okay, that means notepad, and then we have typed the text. You can see here. Hi all, this is demonstration for desktop recording. Then after that, what we have done, we have click on the menu item. So whatever user action we have done, like in the sequence, everything is basically going to be captured here one by one. So you can see the first we have entered the text. Therefore, this is the first step. Second, we have click on the format. So therefore, you can see here, everything is like clearly demonstrated here. And the next, what we have done, we have after this format, we click on the font. Okay, and then font. Earlier, you can see this blue one is the earlier, and then after Cambria, we have converted to the Cambria map. You can see here. And then after changing this font, what we did, it changed the style from like bold oblique, and then size from 24 to 28. Okay, so whatever actions we have performed in the linear succession, or you can say in whatever the user actions are performed in the linear sections, everything is going to be connected linearly. And for the linear succession, we know that the file is the sequence file. Okay, so you can see here these are the options that we have performed for the writing text and changing the font style and size. And then we have lastly what we did, we click on the OK button. So you can, this is the OK. So everything that we have performed, everything has been captured nicely. And next you can see the second activity. This is the complete activity. This is the first activity. Now the second activity is the calculation. So click push on the button calculator. So after that, you can see here 7 plus 5, and we are getting the equals. Okay. So this is about the. So now I'm just going to debug this, and then we'll discuss what it is going to do. You can see here. Now whatever will be done on the screen, everything will be like automatically done. You can see here, this is, I'm doing nothing. Everything whatever is doing right now is doing by the automatic recording. That is the desktop recording. You can see here, I'm not pressing anything. Okay, so whatever is like happening or currently on the screen is due to the desktop recording. Okay, so since we have captured only the two activities, so therefore our two activity has been finished successfully. So this is about the desktop recording, and similarly we can also change the property after the recording. Okay, so we have recorded and everything has been turned into this sequence file. And after this, if you want to change anything, if you want to provide delay, okay, so we can provide delay just by clicking like any activity. Okay, so corresponding properties panel will be open on the right side. Okay, you can see selector window. Okay, so what we talk about this, is provide the selectors. So therefore, we are getting this option. So once we like this, once the selector topic will be discussed, then we can easily understand what is selector. Okay, and then we are getting some other options like here we can change if you want to change the any format or anything. Then by selecting that particular activity, we can change. Okay, so this is like click menu item. Okay, we are getting the cursor position. So we are getting so many options like once we click on this Cambria math. Okay, so you can see here here display name is click list item Cambria math. Okay, are you all able to see this under this properties panel display name? What I have done, basically I've changed the font from Cambria to Cambria math. So from here we can also change even after the recording option. Yes, yes, we have to keep open because for writing manually, whatever we are doing manually, then everything is going to be converted into the like automation by this recording. Okay, therefore, for the writing manually, first we have to open, and then once we like write everything, then after that we need not to open this. Okay, but first we have to open, then we have to write, and everything user action will be captured by this desktop. But this notepad and calculator needs to be open. So the capture a particular. So to capture that is basically like will that point will be discussing some like PDF extraction, how we can get the text. Okay. So will that particular thing will be discussed in the some another session. Okay. So how we can get the like some particular text from the PDF and Excel value, and then how we can store those values into the Excel or in the format. Okay. So that extraction PDF and like we'll be discussing some another session. PDF automation, that particular thing will be covered in the PDF automation. So this is all about the desktop recording. So it cannot open the this basic and desktop recording cannot open the application by its own. We have to open. Okay. So in web recording, we can like we have to provide the. We'll see the difference. So, but in the desktop and basic recording, it cannot open that like the application automatically. Okay, you have to open, and then you just minimize this, and you can automate any user action that you can work. But it will not open the application by its own. So now we'll discuss. Okay, so delay again is the very important concept that is basically required in this automation. So actually, what we have, whatever the user action we have performed here, that are like happening in very like quickly. So if you want to see the each steps very like if you want to analyze each step slowly, then we can provide the delay and then you can analyze how this is working basically. Okay. So I've already discussed how we can provide the delay. We have to just click on this plus option. Okay, add activity here, and then you can add the delay activity, and then you can provide the like the delay as per your requirement, and the format is like hour, minute, and second. So you can later on you can just check this property of how we can provide the delay and how we can analyze the system slowly. Okay. So since in this particular desktop application, what I have done, I have like performed two different activity. One is the entering text, and second is the calculation. So between these two text, between these two activity, if you want to provide the delay, then you can provide delay here. Okay. So now moving to the next recording. So, hello. So now we'll discuss. Now we'll discuss web recording. So in this the application, we have to provide the link for that particular application that we want to open the browser, and then we'll see how it is basically working. So as the name suggests, it is suitable for all type of recording in web apps and browser, and it also generates container and faster than basic. So this is also faster as compared to the basic recording, and the reason is that it generates container, and this is basically the basic web recording as its name says. It is for the recording in web apps and browsers. Okay, so I'm just going to record some actions for this opening. I will open an like Amazon app and will type something, and then I will try to convert all those user actions using this web recording into a sequence file. So just I'm going to demonstrate that. So to provide the link, so suppose that to get the link, I'm just opening this. I'm just opening this to get the link. I'm just opening this website. Just wait a second. Okay. So this is our Amazon website. So you can see this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to perform this web recording. So to that, click on this web recording. Okay, so after clicking on this web recording, we'll get this some options like you can see on the screen. We are getting the option like record, open browser, click, type. Okay, so get the link. To to get the link, to copy the link, we have to click first on the open browser. This will be the first step in the web recording. We have to open the browser. For this opening the browser, then we'll click on the link. Okay. So here you can see the URL is has been copied here. So we will press on the OK. Then suppose that after getting this link from this for Amazon, what I want to do, I want to search for this Samsung mobile. So for that, I have to type the text here in the search bar. Therefore, I will click on this type option. Okay. So once I will click on this type, then I will type here, suppose that Samsung mobile. Okay. And then again, I will click on this empty, enter. Okay. So you can see this is Samsung mobile. And then again, suppose that I want to enter. So I will go on to this again type and then send hotkey. Okay. So from here, I will hit enter. Okay. So again, suppose that if you want to open, after you can see here what I have done. First, first step I have like opened the browser, then I've copied the link, and then I went to this type option, and then I typed the Samsung mobile, and then again from this type I went for the send hotkey option, then press the enter. After pressing the enter, we can see you can all see here we are getting so many options here. So after seeing this option, what we can do, we can select any option. Suppose that I want to buy or want to see about this Samsung particular mobile. So what I will do, I have to click here. For clicking, we have to click on this click options. Okay, and then okay. So you can see this particular mobile has been opened. So now this I'm going to just save and exit this. Then you will see this how it is going to convert all this user action into a sequence automated web project. So for that, I'm just going to click on the save and exit. So you can see here, our like every user action for searching the Samsung mobile from this Amazon website has been captured using this web automation, and that is again converted into a sequence file. And everything is, you can see here step by step. The first step is like capturing of this URL, that is the amazon.in. Okay, and after that, this is your search box, and and then inside the search box, what I have entered the text, that is Samsung mobile, using this type option that are available in this web recording. And after that, this Samsung mobile I have entered using this hotkey. You can see here, this is the hotkey options. Okay, so then after this, this Samsung Galaxy M31 has been opened. Okay. So now I'm just going to close this. Just now I'm going to debug this. Then everything what I have done earlier using this manually, I will capture and we can see it. So I'm just going to debug. So now whatever action is basically going on this screen is I'm not doing anything. Everything that you can see here, this browser has been opening automatically by this web recording. So unlike in the basic and desktop recording, unlike this basic and desktop recording, you can see here, this is all automatically opening this application. Okay, you can see here, this is the option, this automatically has opened. Okay, so this is about the web recording. So this is about all about the recording. So you can see it is taking time. It is opening one by one. So this is like actually the due to some like time delay, it is taking time. Now our output is complete. Okay. So now we have already discussed all the three recording, that is basic, desktop, and web recording. So in the web recording, it automatically opens the application, but in the basic and desktop recording, it does not open the applications. Okay? So this is the main difference, and the second difference is that This is web recording is faster, and this connector and selectors will study in the like coming sessions. Okay, so we'll once we'll study the selectors and containers. Sorry, then you will try it. Will easily understand why this web recording and desktop recording is like faster as compared to the basic recording. So this is all about the recording. So so like we have already discussed all the things for the today's session. So if you have any question, then you can ask. Otherwise, it is today's session has been completed. So in the web recording, the application will be opened automatically. But in case of this basic and desktop recording, the application will not be opened. Okay, you have to open. You have already seen this in this web recording while searching the Samsung mobile from the Amazon website. First, we have to provide the URL. Let me open again this so that I can explain again. So what you can see here in this, the first step is like you have provided the this browser link, or you can say the website link from which I want to like search the particular thing. So that is particular the Amazon.in. So we have to provide this by using the open browser, and that is the available in the web recording option. And then after this providing this open browser, we have to type the particular thing or object that we want to search from the search option in the particular website. So we have we went there in the search option and using the again hotkey options. So I have typed the Samsung mobile, and then to provide again the enter, we have to again open the type option from the web recording, and then using the hotkey we have to provide the enter. Okay, so you have to for typing and everything you have to use the type option that are basically available in the web recording option. Okay, and entering anything you have to use the type and hotkey options. Okay, so that are basically available in the type option under the web recording. Okay, and then whatever you want to perform the option, even if you want to like I have only shown you the like steps from opening this particular Amazon.in and then typing Samsung mobile and then searching for Samsung Galaxy M31s. Even if you want to like automate all the things starting from opening the website till the buying option, you can do everything. Okay, but I have only shown just to make you like aware about the how does it work, how does this web recording work. I have demonstrated this in only till this searching till Samsung Galaxy M31. Yes, okay. But even if you want to like go to the till the next option like buying, we can go. So whatever we'll do by using this click, if you want to like automate the like buying option, so once you click on this buy, then it will ask the password and everything. So that will like take so much time. Therefore, I have demonstrated here till this point. Okay? But even if you want to automate everything, starting from searching that particular object till the buying, we can record everything using this web recording, and then everything will be converted into the sequence file. So this is all about the web recording, and this is as its name suggests, this is basically for the recording the user action that are basically performed on the web application or the web browser. Okay, and your browser can be any browser, whether you're like IE or okay. So again, like the basic and desktop recording, if you want to change any parameter, so we can go simply to that particular activity and then corresponding, you can see the corresponding properties panel will be opened. Okay, and you can see here these are the some options. We have what are the options we have entered here in the input. We have entered this key enter, and everything we can change from here. Okay, so, so this is about the. So again, we can modify the like any activity as per our requirement later on after the recording, and then we can time and again use them for any other automation. So this is all about the today's session. If you have any question or query, then you can ask. Otherwise, today's session is over, and now the next session will again start from the 12, and it will get till 1:30. Any question? Okay, so if you no question, then just I'm going to end the session. And again, the second session for the day 3 will be start from 12, and it will go again for the 1:30 p.m.